Hey guys, hey, happy Friday. It's been way too long. I have not been on live for so long and I miss you. In fact, I miss doing this. This is one of my most favorite things that brings me the most joy is coming live to you. And I wanted to talk to you today about owning your truth because it's okay to not be perfect in everything you do when you own your truth. And I think that's a fear that people have. When you own your truth, what happens? Like, how do people look at me? Are people judging me? Are they talking about me? Are they talking negatively about me? And that can be really super scary. But I'm just saying, don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid to own who you are, because it's so super important to know who you are so that you can navigate, especially this crazy world that we're dealing with, right? Now, achieving self-awareness is that piece that's so important. Emotional well-being for you to achieve self-awareness around your emotions so you can make better decisions in how you respond when you're triggered based on how you're feeling, right? Because that's when you can own your truth and know who you are and be comfortable and confident and self-aware around how you emotionally show up when things happen. And I'll explain this in a little bit, because that's what will happen. Life happens, happening right now. In fact, you could have just been triggered a couple of minutes ago. And then you hopped on and you saw me going live and you thought, okay, this is intriguing. I want to hear a little bit more. Now, achieving self-awareness, this means taking time to really getting to know who you are as a person, to you, not to anybody else, not the other hats that you're wearing. So you're not you as a mom, not you as the sister, the daughter, the aunt, or the role model, or the mentor, or whatever that is, or the CEO, the executive, whatever that role is, those hats you wear. No, this is who you are to you, just you alone. That's it. What makes you tick, what your personality is like, what your opinions are, just what makes you you. And that's tough to get to know, because sometimes people are thinking, well, it's a lot easier for me to tell you of all the hats I wear. It's not so easy to tell you who I am without all of that, right? So you got to like strip it down. And then being open to change, because change is inevitable. It's going to happen whether you like it or not. So you might as well accept it and embrace that pivoting may be part of the process. It's also part of the process, I feel, that we all also resist a lot of the time, because change is scary. We don't have control. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know the outcome, just like what we're dealing with in today's world. And so instead of being open to change and then embracing pivoting, we resist it. But if you open yourself to change, accept it as something that's a reality, embrace that pivoting, maybe having to turn right instead of left, or left instead of right, that allowing that to be a part of your life will allow you to have this new opportunity or a new connection or whatever, the new possibility for your life to show up out of nowhere, because you weren't expecting to turn the corner and there it was waiting for you, because you were open to receiving. Okay. So I'm Leslie Gadet. I'm a life coach for women. I empower my clients and help them achieve self-awareness around their emotions, especially as it relates to stress, so that they can handle the triggers, manage their emotions, and live a more positive life. Now, if you are new to my lives, I want to say welcome. And if you've been following me for a while, I want to say welcome back. I really appreciate your support. It really means the world to me. Now, I want to talk to you real quick about what this is behind me, as I promised. This is the triggers cycle. It's our emotional cycle on repeat. So, meaning things are happening to you that could be happening to you right now, as I said, or it could happen to you just a minute ago. And so you've been triggered, or you will be triggered during the day by events, people, places, things, sounds, smells, whatever that is. Something's going to happen that's going to trigger an emotion. It's going to fuel that emotion, and that emotion is going to make you show up, whether you're going to say something or whether you're going to do something. Now, typically, what happens is, after we've been triggered and our emotions been evoked and fueled, we show up, meaning whatever that is, whatever we say or do, and that gives us a reward. It could be a positive reward or a negative reward. So what do I mean by that? So a positive reward is someone who fully understands not only that there are triggers in life, because we all do know that. We all know that we get triggered by something, but they are fully aware, or at least they're on the road to becoming really super self-aware around what their own triggers are. So when they are triggered by something, they understand their emotions that are being evoked. And they understand how they may have in the past typically responded. And now they're more aware of it and are able to stop themselves and make better decisions on how they show up in the things that they say or they do. So that their positive reward is they are dealing with things real time, right now. Once it's done and finished, they can say done and move on, be present fully in their life and moving forward. Now, most people are dealing with not so much having that self-awareness around their own triggers because they don't really fully understand why they are being triggered the way they are. And they don't understand what their own triggers are, so that when their emotions get evoked, they typically will show up in the things that they say and do, and probably not in the nicest way that they want to, because they're going to say and do what they feel like doing or saying in the moment, in the heat of the moment, based on how they're feeling, because they're not really super aware of it. And so what ends up happening is their reward will be negative, meaning they will have to go back and fix these relationships that they may have been damaging, or someone's feelings have been hurt because in the moment they felt justified, they responded a certain way, they said and did, or said or did whatever they did or said, and it hurt someone's feelings because they just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And now they've had time to think about it, and because they've had time to think about it and cooled off, they realize, oops, I got to go back and fix that. So if you have enough of those moments in your day, as I said, we get triggered multiple times. Sometimes, as I said, we get triggered every day, sometimes multiple times a day. So if you have enough of those types of incidents, you're going to find yourself always having to go back and fix things because you're not dealing with them in real time, because you're not really fully self-aware around your own emotional triggers. And so again, that's your normal MO. And that's what this cycle is all about. Again, it's on repeat, sometimes multiple times a day. So now that I've explained that to you, I want to talk to you about owning your truth and what that even means. So what I did was I went on a Google walkabout and I found this. Living your truth means your relationships with others can be based on mutual respect rather than the disempowering need for external validation. So you know who you are, and you're content, and you're strong, and you're super confident in who you are. Now, support is always a good thing, but when you have the confidence to accept what's right for you, it releases you from the need for approval from others. I love that. It's so true, right? Because a lot of the time people are looking for validation from other people. Like, am I doing this okay? Is this sound right? Does this look right? Do I look okay? Does my hair look good? Does my makeup look good? You know, that type of thing. Am I presenting myself the right way? If you are not content and confident in who you are as a person, you will always seek outside validation. And no matter what it is, whether it's your appearance or the things that you do. So how can you own and live your own truth? Well, here are some ways for you to do that. Number one, get clear on who you are. Now, remember I said that part of our journey through life is gaining self-awareness about getting to know who you are as a person. Who you are means going deep, by the way, within yourself to figure out what makes you you. And a way for you to do that is to actually take some time and sit down and think about, who am I? What are the things that I like? What are the things that I don't like? What type of opinions do I have? What are my boundaries? Do I have boundaries? Everything about you that makes you you. When you get clear on that, what do I stand for? Very important, core values. If you have specific core values, and I like to call them moral core values, the reason why I say that is because it's who you are as a person, who you will stand up in the world as. So, for example, I have mine are integrity, kindness, courage, and empathy. Those are my 4 core values. As you can see, I use integrity as my number 1. Doing the right thing as best as I can every day is how I want to show up in the world. And that is so important. So, because when you're clear in who you are, you know what your core values are. That's how you show up in the world. I also use my core values on social media. I'll give you another idea. On social media and how I respond to posts that I see on social media. I will typically not share like or comment on posts that are negative because I don't want to get caught up in that negativity. And so because my core values have allowed me to realize, okay, this doesn't fit in with who I am. I'm not saying that that there are not posts out there that might have a negative viewpoint that are not something to actually look at and consider. I'm just saying that I don't want to get caught up in that whole thing, taking me down a road or down the rabbit hole, so to speak, that doesn't line up with who I am as a person. So I know who I am. I'm clear on who I am because I have my core values in place. And I really, really am grateful that I did. I really, took that time to know who I am. Now, number 2 is become a friend to fear. Yes, you heard me right. Befriend fear. Being yourself takes real courage, especially when fear likes to show up and throw all kinds of self-doubt at you. And especially when you're being triggered emotionally. And then you start thinking, like, for example, you might have someone who gives you constructive feedback and you take that as a sign of criticism and you're showing up emotionally very upset. You are angry, maybe you're resentful. And so you're allowing fear to throw all kinds of doubt at you because then you start questioning, am I good enough? Well, they don't think I'm good enough. You start believing that. That becomes a belief for you, but that's not typically the case really. When a lot of the time when people give you constructive feedback, especially if it comes from somebody that you know, like, and trust, usually they're trying to help you. And if you could step back from the comment, step back from that and just look at really think about what was said to you in the context and around what they were talking about, you might have a different outcome as far as how you feel about it. So fear will love to step in there. When you're clear on who you are, you can befriend fear, knowing that fear is not your master, but rather something that you know is going to pop up now and again, and it will be up to you or your inner hero, as I like to call her. I have an inner hero, we all do. And allow your inner hero to step up and step through your fears and go forward. And last but not least, number 3, release judgment. Because guess what? We care way, way, way too much about what other people think about us and what other people are saying about us. Don't let someone else's opinion of what you are doing sway you from moving forward, especially if you are being true to you. So the 3 ways for you to get clear and own your truth is get clear on who you are, know who you are, have your core values, know how you want to show up in the world, what makes you you. Number 2, become a friend of fear, because fear is going to come now and again. But if you are clear on who you are, fear can become a friend because you can just know fear is going to come up. It's going to only allow me to then empower my inner hero to step up, step through, and move forward. And number 3, release judgment, because people are going to talk about you whether you like it or not. They're going to say things about you that you might not like to hear, but that's okay. That's their opinion. Remember, everyone has an opinion. Just allow yourself to be true to who you are. So that's it for today. I promise you that I will start going live more. I just got a bit distracted over the past few weeks, with everything that's been going on. And now I'm feeling more focused and energized. So look for more lives coming to you starting next week. I hope you have an amazing rest of your Friday. Remember, even though you're practicing social distancing, don't practice social isolation. Make sure you find ways to connect with others, whether it's by Zoom or Facebook Messenger or Skype or your beautiful smartphone, because our phones are so smart, right? You can do a lot with them. And if you can't do any of those right now, you just simply pick up your phone and call. Just call direct. People have gotten past, people are so reliant on texting, and even human connection comes from hearing your voice. So just call a friend, catch up on what you've been doing lately, since you started living this new reality that we're living. And also remember to navigate your days with an attitude of gratitude, because with the right attitude, it will put you in the right mindset for when life happens. And it's going to happen, like I said, sometimes multiple times a day. I'm Leslie Godet, and I'm a life coach for women. I empower my clients and help them achieve emotional self-awareness when stressful situations trigger them so they can handle the triggers, manage their emotions, lessen their stress, which is really important, and live a more positive life. Again, I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye, guys.